Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Myself, Shushmita, would like to wish a very good afternoon to all my respected professors, my respected external examiner, and all my beloved friends. Today we are going to present our project work on the present scenario of COVID-19 named Cove Insight, and user interactive application software to track and trace the spread of coronavirus in India. Here goes the contents of our presentation. In December 2019, a new disease with pneumonia-like symptoms was spreading throughout Wuhan in China, which was entitled as novel coronavirus disease or COVID-19. Within a span of few days, this disease became a global threat and was termed as a pandemic by WHO on 11th March 2020. To help monitor this fast evolving situation, we have developed a one place platform to serve as a repository of information based on true facts. Our software has 6 modules. Record tracker module, in which the total active, discharged, death cases, vaccination, testing records across the nation are displayed with basic highlights. Statistical data module, in which one can get the date-wise or state-wise statistical data which are portrayed with graphical images. Symptom analyzer module shows the susceptibility of a person being infected by COVID-19 based on the symptoms provided. Bot query module generates the chatbot responses according to user query. Case prediction module will predict the future active COVID-19 cases by fitting data into an epidemiology model. And finally comes the game model, which helps to nurture the seeds of positive awareness through the eyes of this virtual world of gaming characters. The mentioned modules will be well explained and presented by my teammates, so handing over to Ishika.
Introducing with the record tracker module of the application, we first begin to discuss about web scraping. Web scraping is the process of collecting structured web data from website. In general, web scraping is very popular and it should not be surprising because it provides something really valuable that nothing else can. It gives you the structured web data from any public website. In our work, we use web scraping to track the real-time COVID-19 cases of India. Now from first step, we can see we have to find the URL or the particular website that we want to scrape. In this case, we are using the government official website. Then in second step, we are inspecting the page to find out the location of the data. To inspect a website, we have to right click on the element and choose the inspect element. After inspecting the web page, we have to find the data we want to extract. In our case, extract the number of active cases, discharge cases, death cases, and total vaccination. In first step, we are writing our code in a file. For this, first we have to create a Python file and then write the code in this file. Then run the code and get the live data automatically. After extracting the data, we store it in a format. Vaccination information can be received from the Indian government API. As you can see in the video, for checking vaccination slot, at first we select the state as West Bengal, put the district name as North 24 Parganas, give a particular date, say 9th August 2021, for our age limit 45 plus and select the vaccine name as Covishield. Now as we check the slots, we can see the availability of several slots along with detailed information like the name and address of the vaccination center with the start and end time allotted for vaccination. So it is important to vaccinate immediately for each one of us to prevent and stop the spread of COVID-19 furthermore. As a result of web scraping, we have to count the total sample tested, that is cumulative total sample tested up to 7th August 2021, as well as the count of number of sample tested on 7th August 2021. In addition to this, we have the number of vaccination doses done in a particular day before and the count of total active, discharge, death and total vaccination cases in India. By entering the date in a correct format, we are able to see the detailed information about COVID-19 cases. Here we select 4th January 2021 as an example and we see it shows the total number of confirmed cases, new active cases, new recovered cases, death cases till the date. The graph shows the date-wise number of confirmed COVID cases. Now as we see the check case details state-wise. Here we select West Bengal as a state and it shows all the COVID cases information like the total number of cases, active cases, newly active cases, deaths. From the graph, we can see Maharashtra, Kerala, Karnataka have the highest number of cases. On the other hand, states like Meghalaya, Mizoram and Nagaland have a very few number of cases. Now handing over to my next teammate Shushmita.
COVID-19 is a worldwide pandemic with more than 6 million confirmed cases around the world. As it is a highly contagious disease, detection of COVID-19 is paramount in order to combat this threat. Artificial intelligence has a long history of applications in medical diagnosis. Our Type 2 fuzzy logic system has been designed here, which is a form of AI based on the theory of fuzzy sets developed by L.A. Zadeh in 1965. Now let's see how this system actually works. Here, the fuzzification module maps the CRIPS input value into a degree of membership of fuzzy sets. The fuzzy rule base includes the if-then rules that are applied by field experts. The defuzzification module converts the output of the inference engine into a CRIPS output value. There are main three stages in the design of our fuzzy logic system. First, fuzzification. Second, creation of a rule base. Third, defuzzification. So what do they mean? Fuzzification transforms the system inputs, which are CRIPS numbers, into fuzzy sets. For the rule base, a total of 10 rules are designed governing the system, where each rule produces an output. Defuzzification converts a fuzzified output into a single CRIPS value. A wide variety of symptoms were reported by individuals suffering from COVID-19. We combined all the symptoms into 5 categories: fever, loss of taste or smell, cough, breathing difficulty, fatigue, or tiredness. In general, our membership functions for each of these symptoms were constructed by extrapolating information from research papers and datasets. As explored from several studies, COVID-19 infection is also strongly influenced by some additional risks, which were one of the major difficulties. First goes a person's gender, several comorbidities already present, his or her age, and some external factors. From medical study, it is observed that men are more at risk than females. We picked out the most serious comorbidities like hypertension, diabetes, cardiovascular issues, respiratory issues, and immunological issues. The age group is broadly classified as: for external factors, we considered whether an individual lives in a polluted environment and whether he had come in recent contact with any COVID patient in the last 2 weeks. Here we built a function that takes input of these conditions and generates a value according to their effect as shown in the tables. For the rule base, we have the following table. Here we see we have 5 columns for symptoms, another column for additional factors, and the overall risk column for the output. Now, if we take a look at the first row, cough is negative and all other symptoms are low. So, we met the overall risk output as unlikely. If we take a look at 5th and 6th rows, some symptoms are low, some high, some moderate. So, we met the overall risk output as likely. If we look at the last row, cough is positive and all other symptoms are high. So we met the overall risk output as very likely. Initially, defuzzification will convert the type 2 output membership function into a type 1 function using enhanced Koenig-Mendel algorithm. Then, the single fuzzy set will be defuzzified into a single numeric output value using the Centroid method to determine the percentage risk level of being COVID-19 infected. Both statistical data and rule-based information are collected from publicly available databases and datasets. Now, let us see whether the fuzzy inference system designed so far actually works or not. Let us assume that a particular individual have specified the symptoms, comorbidities, external factors, age, and gender as shown here. The rule base was so designed that fever and breathing difficulty symptoms have more pronounced effect on the possibility of getting infected. From the screenshot, we see that both of these symptoms are having intensity level greater than 5.0 and the other three are less than 5.0. Similarly, the most serious comorbidities are selected, both external factors are selected, and his age is between 18 to 40, within which people are affected more in this second wave. So here, the chance of getting infected becomes much high. That is, the fuzzy inference system gives a susceptibility of 82%. A little different from the previous slide, we see here that all the symptoms are less than 5.0. Only two comorbidities, one external factor is present, and age is over 60 years, which is the category of pupil affected less. So here the chance of getting infected becomes much low. That is, fuzzy inference system gives a susceptibility of only 46%. Thus, we proposed a smart fuzzy inference system which can help individuals to perform self-diagnosis based on the symptoms that appear in their respective cases. Now, handing over to my next teammate, Shreya.
Now, moving on from the symptom analyzer, let's catch up for a quick conversation with our COVID-19 chatterbot. Well, as we all know that the present time has been tedious and there is a sense of panic and uncertainty amongst people with spreading rumors, myths and misinformation about COVID-19. So, in order to overcome this problem, we have created a solution with our COVID-19 chatbot that can help people manage through these unpredictable times, reducing the burden on existing resources. The COVID-19 chatbot helps the people learn more about COVID-19 by providing reliable, concise information from credible sources that are crucial to prevent a misinfodemic. The users can utilize the chatbot to find answers to their queries for protection and to prevent its spread by handling the situation scientifically. The topics covered include basic information about COVID-19 transmission. Information has been collected using reliable sources like CDC, WHO, etc. Now coming to the methodology for its preparation. We have used word matching algorithm to implement our chatbot with the user typed in questions as input and the answers given by the bot in voice as output. With the front end of the chatbot interface being designed by HTML and CSS, script tag has been used to embed the JavaScript files into our HTML file for synchronization of basic logic. Word matching is done by comparing user prompts with the bot replies and texts. It makes the user inputs more standardized and flexible without giving it a rigid structure. It makes use of the following procedures for its implementation. Procedure input-output. Typing our questions to the chatbot allows it to match some specific defined words, giving output of any string length for the correct answer. Procedure compare. It compares the exact user prompts with the respective bot replies to answer. And procedure add chat. It creates a division for user input and bot output in a designing way with some fake delay to the bot output to make it real. Now, it's finally time to cling on for a short chat session with our COVID-19 chatbot. Let's see how our bot responds to the user queries with effective
আমাকে না করে
responses.
স্যারকে ছবি তুলে পাঠালি বলুন স্যার
Now, just have a look at what the user types in as his query to the bot. He says my CT value is 35. Am I COVID positive? Now let's check the chatbot reply. We can see that along with the range of CT value for being COVID positive, it also provides relevant information about the importance of CT value that enables the users to get a broader aspect of that query. Let's see next what the users inquires about to the bot. He says, tell me about the precautions of COVID-19. As we can see that along with necessary precautions, our COVID-19 chatbot also gives reference to certified websites for enriching the user awareness all over. Hence, this intercommunication between the human and the bot would help to shape in a mutual understanding between the real and the virtual world in this global crisis. Now, handing over to Rishita for the next module.
Thank you, Shreya. Ever since the outbreak of COVID-19 last year, numerous research is being conducted in order to predict the future of this pandemic. The Data Predictor module tries to provide an insight to the users of the application about this future. We have used mathematical epidemiology models to study the spread of COVID-19, and to find the best suited model, we have analyzed three. The Gauss model fits the daily active cases data into a Gaussian function with an accuracy of 87%. The SIR model divides the total population into three compartments and had an accuracy of 75%. And finally, the extended ACIR model, which had the best results with accuracy of 95%, has been used to build the data predictor. The extended ACIR model was specially developed to simulate the COVID-19 pandemic. It divides the total population into 7 compartments, namely, the susceptible compartment that contains all the individuals who are not yet infected with the virus but may get infected in the future. The vaccinated compartment contains individuals who have been fully vaccinated and are less likely to contract the virus. The exposed compartment contains individuals who have been exposed to the virus but are yet not infectious. The infected compartment consists of individuals who are infected with COVID-19. The quarantine compartment consists of individuals who have been tested and successfully quarantined. The recovered compartment contains individuals who have recovered from the disease. And finally, the dead compartment contains individuals who have succumbed to the disease. In the extended ACIR model, the individuals can move from one compartment to another following a specific manner which is explained with the following disease transmission diagram. When a new individual enters the population, they are added to the susceptible set at rate big lambda. A susceptible person can then come in contact with infected person at beta transmission rate and become exposed to the virus. A susceptible person may also get vaccinated at rate alpha and move to the vaccinated set. Now, if the vaccine fails, a vaccinated person can also get exposed to the virus, with sigma being the vaccine inefficiency. Individuals in the exposed set will eventually become infectious after gamma latency time. An infected person can also get tested and quarantined effectively after delta latency time. After being quarantined, there can be two possible outcomes. Either a person may recover from the disease after lambda period at 1 minus kappa recovery rate, or the person can succumb to the disease after rho latency period at kappa rate. Finally, at any instant of time, a person can die from any of the sets due to causes other than COVID-19 at mu rate. This whole disease transmission system is represented in mathematical form as a set of ordinary differential equations, as it is easier to represent each compartment with respect to their rate of changes as opposed to ordinary functions. The set of differential equations representing the model are as follows. Now that we have defined our model, let us discuss the model fitting process in brief. To train our model, we have used the COVID-19 active cases dataset starting from 15th March to 30th June. In order to fit the model, first we have to initialize it with some guess parameter values. Since the extended ACIR model is a differential equation, we have to solve the model using fourth order RK method. This solution was obtained using the ODINT package of Python. The error between this initial model and the actual data is then computed. To fit the model to data, we have to minimize this error using nonlinear least square algorithm. This algorithm adjusts the parameter values so as to minimize the error. The final model obtained after minimization is the best fit model, which is then extended to perform the predictions. Overall, the ACIR model showed that it had good predicting capabilities with an accuracy of 95%. It predicted the end of second wave towards the end of July, which has been correct. It also predicted the possibility of a third wave in August. The data predictor module has a data prediction graph on the right with some key prediction data in the left for better visualization of the users. The interface contains two buttons. The refresh button activates the web scraping module previously discussed, thus updating the dataset to the latest data. It causes recomputation of data predictions, thus making the data predictor dynamic in nature. The check data button allows users to check the predicted active cases for a specific date. Now handing over to my next teammate, Ishani.
Thank you, Rishita. Here, using the concept of collision detection technique in game programming, we have designed a user interactive game based on COVID-19. named Cove Clasher for boosting the health and eradicating the lockdown boredom, especially among children, to raise mental awareness with the lightweight gaming characters, letting them win or lose the game depending on their way of handling with the various obstacles and hurdles on way to mark them safe. In our game, we have a player named Captain who is very determined and has very strong values that he never fails to act by, even in hopeless situations. Yes, Naruto reference. These two are the main enemies in our game, so in our real life. If the player comes in contact with Corona in between any level and dies, it can use the retry options and continues to remain at the same level. Three types of masks, normal, surgical, and N95, are used here for protection of the player to gain life. The player uses sanitizer staircase to jump over the virus across the level. The player has to survive many obstacles levels to reach to the final exit point in the last level and to win. So, winning is always difficult, especially against coronavirus. With the help of Python module that is Pygame, we have created fun game that allows real-time computer game development. Here we have created a tile to make a grid using drawgrid. After creating a list, we can put values for each of tile position. In each position of the grid, we have added our characters into the list. Collision detection algorithm through built-in Pygame function Collide Detect has been used to make the game engine run faster with good game efficiency. Enemies and platforms are given moving characteristics with move detection function. A level editor block has been implemented to design each of the 7 levels, raising the game complexity with each rising level ahead. The levels are created with all our characters, placing them differently in the screen with an arrangement of clicking mouse pointer. The main game module is responsible for coordination of the game playing between the player and the enemies in created platforms. There is certain amount of frame per second to maintain a certain consistency throughout the game. After collection of mass, the player aims to reach to a better world free from obstacles as the exit point. The player is created using a rectangle of its size all around it and drawn on the screen. The player is controlled with key presses left, right, and for jump at a certain velocity, it uses spacebar using the get press pygame function. Animation is the CD of still images that plays in order. So we have added some still images of the player to create the walking animation. A list is created which contains all the images running through the list. We will be able to create the animation. The new player position is calculated, collision at new position is checked, and then player position is adjusted to see if we can move it or not. If not, then we will take the action upfront. Pygame has built-in collision detection function Collide Detect. We have to go through all of those individual tiles for checking collisions in X and Y direction separately, for movement of enemy and for checking collision in moving platforms. Now I am handing over to my teammate Rishita.
Thus, the CovidSight application is an interactive, user-friendly COVID-19 tracker software developed using Python, JavaScript, CSS with various concepts of web scraping, machine learning, differential calculus, and so on. It provides all the necessary features the user may need to stay updated and informed. The chatbot, record tracker, and statistical data modules help the user to stay up to date with everything COVID. The symptom analyzer and the data predictor module keeps the users one step ahead of this pandemic at all times. The fun game COVID Clashes provides a sigh of relief during these tough times. Though further research is needed to increase the efficiency of this software so that it can spread its knowledge base into varied realms of human support, the overall purpose of this project has been satisfied. The key references that we have used to develop our CovidSight application are as follows. We would like to end our discussion with a profound sense of gratitude to our project guide, Professor Abhishek De, external examiner, Professor Pallavi Roy, and all our professors and friends for their constant help and support. Now, before packing up, let us see a short demonstration of the various features of our application. Now, handing over to Shushmita.
Now let's come to our demonstration. This is the user login page. And for signing up, I would request my teammate Ishani to help me out.
Okay.
So typing her name as username, giving a password, confirming the password, mobile number
8697
yes,
028524.
okay. So in this mobile number, a customized message will be sent and Ishani will share that in the chat box. Now, if you want to log in, an error message will pop up because Ishani is a new user. So we had to sign up. It's successful. Now we had to continue. Just give a couple of seconds. So this is the home tab. In the left-hand side, we have put some information about vaccination. And since nowadays finding slots have become so hectic, there is a solution to it. We can click the find slot button and check the slots here. And this has already been shown in the presentation by Ishika. Here are some basic highlights put here, which are very important for users that can come across. If we click on the first one, it shows that who should get tested for the current infection. In the left-hand side, if you find any RT-PCR center, we can check out here. For any government center, if we type for Kolkata, here all the centers are available for testing in Kolkata. Similarly, it goes for any private center. Next, coming to your health tab. Here, we can know about COVID-19. That is, what it is, how does it spread, how does it look. Find symptoms here by clicking this button. About the most common, less common, serious symptoms. About prevention. There are 7 methods by which we can stop the spread. Next, coming to the resources. Our link has been embedded here. One can check this out for emergency resources. Coming to the vaccine tab, a graph has been depicted here which shows the people receiving first dose and second dose. Now, before getting jabbed, we all need to know our vaccine properly. So, there is a difference between the three given. However, we should take the vaccine available to us at the earliest. Coming to date-wise stats. Here, we can enter any date. Like I'm typing for 2nd January 2021. I can get the counts for confirmed, active, recovered, and death. See the graph here? This gives the actual total cases. For the state-wise stats also, we can enter here any state or union territory. We would like to know about West Bengal. It gives us the counts. See the graph? Okay. Coming to cases predictor. The extended SEIR model has predicted the second wave and third wave. Now, if you want to check some data, like I'm typing a date for 10th October 2021. Let's see. Here, actual active cases are not available, but it has predicted the active cases which goes beyond 20 lakhs. Okay. Checking another date for 10th October 2020. It says actual active cases are 8 lakhs, but it has not predicted anything. Obviously, it's a past year. Next, coming to the symptom analyzer. Let's give you some inputs like the intensity of coughing be 1.5, fever be 6.7, breathing difficulty be 7.9 or 8.0. Next, coming to this, giving us 3.5 and this is 1.4. Clicking the check buttons for some comorbidities, entering age as 22, female. External factors, I have come in contact, let's calculate. It says I'm 82% likely to be COVID-19 infected. In this way, one can check for other inputs as well. Now coming to bot query. Here it gives us all answers relevant to COVID pandemic. So let's click me. It opens up an HTML page. Okay, let's type here a question like, what is COVID-19? Let's see what it tells.
It is a new disease caused by a novel coronavirus that has not previously been seen in humans. It can also cause severe illness and even death.
Okay. Next, coming to the fun game.
Fasten your seatbelts and get ready to battle with the virus. Keep in mind, catch it or you will be caught. Read the instructions below. Start. He gets +1 for collecting spider mask, +5 for surgical mask, +10 for N95 mask to increase his life. He enters the corona-free world and he is successful. Captain You can still retry and Captain is now in that level. Remain in level 2. Game is over, but you can still win the game by completing all the 7 levels.
Next, coming to the contacts and helpline tab. Here some links have been embedded for Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, WhatsApp, and LinkedIn, and these are all the government websites. For any regional contact, whether type here any state or union territory, like for West Bengal, it gives the emergency number. For Delhi, or we can search for Goa, like this. We can type here any name. Now for closing the application, a confirm exit message will pop up. If we click no, it stays here. However, if we click yes, it exits. That's all for our presentation. Thank you.